Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everyday Real English from Real Life podcast.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that loves to unravel complex topics, pull out the really key insights, and, well, hopefully share them in a way that's engaging.
That's the plan.
And today, we're diving into something you navigate constantly, probably without even thinking about it much. Have you ever, texted something like YOLO to a friend?
Yeah.
And then maybe just an hour later, you're sitting down drafting an email, maybe to a potential employer, starting with, "To whom it may concern."
Yeah, that feeling is pretty universal, I think. If that sounds familiar, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Right.
We're exploring that sometimes tricky world of English communication, specifically the art of telling the difference between slang and, formal language.
It's a big one.
It really is. And it's
Yeah.
not just about, avoiding embarrassment, though that's part of it. It's more about mastering how you come across. Understanding language as this really powerful social tool. It shapes how people see you, how you connect.
Absolutely. So that's our mission today, to equip you, our listener, with the understanding and hopefully some practical tools to navigate these linguistic shifts maybe more effortlessly.
Yeah, we've looked at some fascinating stuff to give you a bit of a shortcut here. Hopefully some surprising insights along the way.
Okay, so let's start by laying the groundwork. We throw these terms around all the time: formal, informal, slang. But what are the real distinctions? Maybe we should unpack formal English first.
Good idea. So formal English, it's essentially the standard kind of rule-bound version of the language.
Okay.
It's characterized by, precise vocabulary, often more complex sentence structures.
Right.
And a noticeable lack of personal pronouns sometimes. Definitely no contractions and zero colloquialisms or slang.
Very buttoned up.
Exactly. It sticks really strictly to grammar and syntax rules. It's almost like a meticulously crafted blueprint.
So if you're writing, say, a legal document or giving a big presentation to the board, maybe a job interview, this is your go-to language. It signals seriousness, respect, a certain kind of decorum, like you gave the example. Instead of saying, "I'm going to leave," which is super common,
Right.
you'd clearly say, "I am going to leave." It feels more deliberate.
It is deliberate. It's often impersonal by design. The goal is usually absolute precision.
Okay, so that's formal. How is that different from, say, colloquialism? That's another term we hear.
Right. Colloquialism. That's often just called everyday language. It's the style we use for casual, informal chat.
Like with friends, family.
Exactly. Friends, family, relaxed situations. It's much more fluid. It can include things like figurative language, definitely contractions, filler words sometimes.
Okay.
And importantly, it doesn't always stick to those strict formal grammar rules.
Okay, and this is where it gets interesting for me because colloquial language isn't always slang, right? There's a difference there.
That's a crucial distinction, yeah.
Yeah.
An expression can be colloquial common every day without actually being slang.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Colloquial language includes slang, but it also covers things like common abbreviations, maybe some idioms everyone knows, contractions, stuff most native speakers understand.
Ah, okay.
Think about saying belly button in a casual chat instead of the medical term umbilicus.
Right. Belly button isn't slang, it's just normal, informal language.
Exactly. It's colloquial. Both are accepted terms, but one's clearly more formal than the other.
Gotcha. So while colloquialisms are generally okay in lots of contexts, slang is different. You're saying it's more specialized.
Much more specialized and often more transient. It's a vocabulary you hear in everyday conversation, sure, but it's almost always avoided in formal writing and speech.
So that's the real dividing line then. Slang is often used, you mentioned, by particular in-groups.
Yes, exactly. Demographics based on maybe region or age or social identity.
So it's more than just casual words. It's kind of like a social glue, a linguistic handshake that says, "Hey, you're one of us."
It absolutely can be. It creates that instant bond, a shared shorthand. But, and this is the other side of the coin, it can also act as a barrier, right?
Yeah, if you don't know the slang.
You feel like an outsider, at least in that moment. And this kind of in-group language, it has a notoriously fast-changing vocabulary. Slang can become outdated incredibly quickly.
Oh, yeah. Think about words like groovy or more recently on fleek.
Exactly. They have their moment, they burn bright, and then poof, they can make you sound really dated if you use them after they've faded.
Right. So unlike those broader colloquial terms, slang is often seen as inappropriate in many situations just because it's so specific and sometimes, yeah, fleeting.
Precisely. So today you might hear terms like lit, or salty, no cap, sus, maybe slay.
Heard those?
They can be really playful and creative, often bending standard forms. But interestingly, the moment a slang term gets too popular, too mainstream,
It stops being cool.
some argue it loses its status as true slang. The whole thing is constantly evolving. It's fascinating.
We should probably quickly mention jargon too, shouldn't we? How does that fit in?
Good point. Jargon is specific terminology. It's explicitly defined relating to a particular activity or a profession or maybe a hobby group.
Okay.
Unlike slang, jargon is often developed quite deliberately. The goal is usually to make communication more efficient and precise among experts.
Ah, so it uses terms that imply a shared technical understanding.
Exactly. Like medical jargon, you mentioned lateral epicondylitis.
Right, for what most of us just call tennis elbow.
Perfect example. In a clinic, that term is precise and efficient for doctors.
But for anyone else, it can feel like, yeah, secret code. How do you manage that? Using jargon effectively without excluding people.
That's the constant balance, isn't it? I think the key takeaway for you listening is that understanding these differences, formal, colloquial, slang, jargon, it's not just about picking the right words.
It's more fundamental.
Yeah, it affects the whole structure of the English you use, your word choice, even subtle things like using contractions or certain pronouns. It's all about context and those unspoken rules.
Okay, to really make this concrete, let's try and feel the difference. We're going to do a little real-life role play.
Great.
Just a few short scenarios to show the practical side. Listen for how different the phrases feel.
Let's do it.
Okay, scenario 1. You want to express agreement. Formally, you might say something like, I completely agree with your opinion.
Very clear, very standard. But with your close friends, you might just say, facts.
Or maybe,
Preach.
yeah, see how quick that is. Punchy, immediate. Very culturally specific sometimes, too.
Totally different vibe. Okay, scenario 2, expressing excitement. Formally, maybe you get a new job, you'd say, I'm very excited about this opportunity.
Sounds professional. But, you know, chatting with your mates about it. That energy might come out as, I'm hyped.
Or even, that's dope.
Exactly. Big difference in the energy and the formality level. Huge difference. Okay, last one. Scenario 3. Saying you can't go to something. Formally, you'd probably say, I'm afraid I won't be able to attend.
Polite, clear, and casually, texting a friend, maybe just can't make it, sorry.
Simple, direct. It's really striking how much the feeling changes with just a few word choices, isn't it?
It really is.
Okay, now that you've heard those quick examples, let's slow it down a bit. We're going to do some slow and clear phrase practice.
Okay.
This is for you, the listener. Listen carefully. Maybe even repeat them after us, just to get the feel for the difference embedded.
Ready. Let's think about expressing difficulty.
Yeah.
So, formally, you'd probably say, the exam was complicated.
The exam was complicated.
Okay. But if you're relaxing the language a bit, maybe just, it was hard.
It was hard. Simple, common.
Very common. And then for more informal or even slangy options, you could say, it was tricky.
It was tricky. I like that one.
Or maybe, it was tough.
It was tough. Also very common.
Or even just, it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Notice how those informal options, they give you slightly different shades of meaning, sometimes more evocative ways to say something was difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next one. Keeping a secret. Formally, this sounds quite serious. You might declare, my word is my bond.
My word is my bond. Or maybe, I give you my word of honor.
I give you my word of honor. Wow, very stately.
Right. Really emphasizes the promise.
A more common, everyday way to say it would just be, I won't say a word.
I won't say a word. Straightforward.
And then informally, or using idiomatic slang, my lips are sealed.
My lips are sealed. Classic.
Or you might hear this in movies a lot. Your secret's safe with me.
Your secret's safe with me.
Yeah.
Reassuring.
And another fun one, an idiom, mum's the word.
Mum's the word. Each one gets the same core message across, but boy, the tone is different.
Wildly different. Okay, great range there. Last one for practice. Let's talk about being full after eating. You've had a big meal. Formally, you might say, I have had my fill.
I have had my fill. Sounds quite polite, maybe a little old-fashioned.
A little bit, yeah. More commonly, you'd probably just say, I'm full.
I'm full. Simple. Everyone understands it.
And informally, or with slang, you might say, I'm stuffed.
I'm stuffed. Very common, very relatable.
Or if you really went for it, you could say humorously, if I eat any more, I'll burst.
If I eat any more, I'll burst.
Yeah.
That image of, like, exploding really drives home how full you feel.
Exactly. It's all about the context, the feeling you want to convey. And so now let's shift gears and talk about the when, the strategy behind choosing your words. These are our pro tips and cultural notes for you.
Right. So the main rule of thumb for formal English: use it for business, use it for school, and definitely use it when you're talking to new people or people in authority.
High-stakes situations.
Exactly. Job interviews, professional emails, starting, "Dear Mr. Smith," not, "Hey, dude," presentations, board meetings, that kind of thing.
And the why behind that is important too. Using formal language, it signals seriousness, doesn't it? Respect.
Yeah.
It helps you be clear, precise. And it makes what you say or write seem more credible. It's subtle, but it's powerful.
Yeah. And here's a really useful pro tip we found. When in doubt, lean formal. Have you heard that?
Oh, absolutely. That's solid gold advice. Why? Because it's always, always easier to relax your language later on, if the situation allows,
Right.
than it is to try and recover from being too casual too early.
Yeah, you can't really unring that bell easily. Starting formal is usually the safest bet. It just shows you're taking things seriously.
Invaluable advice. Okay, so then when do you get to loosen up? When is slang or informal language not just okay, but maybe even like the right choice?
Well, the rule of thumb there is pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Use it with friends. When you're texting, maybe on casual social media.
The relaxed spaces?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about how natural it feels to text BRB instead of writing out, "I shall return momentarily."
Right. It's efficient. It feels natural with people you know well. It builds that connection, that rapport.
It makes communication quicker, more relaxed within that trusted group. It's like a signal that you belong, you share that understanding. That's the social glue informal language provides.
And this is a really important but. You need to be careful using slang with people in authority,
Definitely.
like your boss or teachers, mentors, unless they use it first. That's the key, right? Let them set the tone.
Absolutely. It often ties into this subtle power dynamic. The person with more authority often gets to decide when the interaction shifts to being more informal.
Yeah, jumping the gun can seem maybe disrespectful or presumptuous.
It can. And, conversely, using too formal language in a very casual setting can also be awkward.
Oh, yeah, it can make you seem kind of distant or maybe like you're trying too hard.
Right. Over-formality can create distance, especially maybe in modern workplaces that want to feel more collaborative, less hierarchical.
Good point.
Plus, slang itself, as we said, can cause confusion. It varies so much by region, by group.
And it gets outdated.
Super fast. Remember, on fleek. And its list grammatical structure can also just make things unclear when you really need clarity.
Okay, so this brings us to something really interesting, a real skill. The idea of code switching.
Ah, yes. Code switching.
Explain that. What is it?
It's basically your ability to shift between these different linguistic channels or registers almost effortlessly.
Like changing gears.
Exactly. Changing gears to match the unspoken rules of whatever room you happen to be in.
That sounds like a superpower.
It kind of is, linguistically speaking. This skill, it signals respect, it shows intention, it demonstrates a really deep understanding of social context.
And how does it affect how people see you?
Well, research suggests that people who can code switch well are often seen as more intelligent, more adaptable,
Interesting.
even more trustworthy, because it builds bridges. Rigid language, always sticking to one style, just can't do that in the same way.
Can you give an example of it in action?
Sure. Imagine someone maybe saying something like, "Hey, yo, I feel you, bro. But respectfully, I think we should approach the situation differently."
Wow, okay. Seamless shift there.
Right. They went from very informal, slangy, straight into a more formal, considered register within one single thought.
That's really about being fluent in this whole linguistic dance, isn't it?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And the beauty is both forms, formal and informal, including slang. They're both unique. They're both valuable.
Right.
Appreciating them and learning to use both effectively helps you fit into different environments, understand different cultures better. It really shows social awareness.
It lets you choose your words not just for what they mean literally.
But for all those powerful social signals they send out. Yeah.
Okay, let's try and wrap up this deep dive then. Today we've covered the core definitions, formal, colloquial, slang, and we touched on jargon.
We looked at how they're distinct.
We gave you some practical examples, hopefully, that let you hear the difference in real life.
And we shared some essential tips. When to use each style, when it's probably safer to lean formal,
When to relax.
what to maybe avoid. And remembering that language isn't static, right?
Yeah.
It's dynamic. It shifts all the time depending on your audience and your purpose.
And knowing these nuances, understanding them, it's genuinely invaluable, isn't it, for being articulate, socially aware.
Absolutely.
It helps you skip those potentially awkward moments and just adapt more confidently, whatever the situation. You'll probably even start noticing the subtle ways people use language around you differently now.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, here's a little challenge, maybe for the next week or so.
Ooh, okay.
Consciously try code switching in your own communication. Just pay attention to it. Notice how it feels when you shift from, say, a casual text to a friend to maybe a more formal email to a colleague or a client. How does that shift change the interaction? How do you think people perceive you differently based on those choices?
That's a really fascinating experiment. It could unlock some cool insights into just how powerful communication really is.
Definitely.
We really encourage you to keep going on your language learning journey, stay curious, and explore more deep dives with us.
Want to practice these phrases? Download your free PDF guide to review vocabulary, role plays, and quizzes. Find the link in the description and pinned comment, and feel free to share it with friends.
Like and subscribe for more English tips.